Right folks, I'll try again. Sorry I've not been on for a while, but I'm having real problems. Since I did a sort of update on my phone, my computer won't recognise the video, so I've tried doing a different setting. Touch wood, I think I've worked it out this time. So, an update on the allotment. Strawberries, well, I went away to Portugal a few weeks ago, and before I went, there was absolutely boatloads of strawberries on this bed and that bed over there, and they were green, but there was hundreds of them. Now I've come back last week, and well, there's hardly anything left. The birds have got them, and every time I come down there's birds in here, so it's my own fault for not netting them. So note for next year, make sure I net them. The blackberries, there's quite a few on this one. A bit bizarre on this one over here, there's a few on the sort of longer stems, which I presume are this year's wood, but there's nothing on the other end, so I don't know. I'll just have to watch this space, because that is a different variety to that one. French beans, they've got some flowers on, doing really well. I did put some more seed in there, but the birds just flicked it to death. That is my biggest problem this year, birds. Just digging everything over. So I've had to put a few frames on a few things. Courgettes, doing really well, as they always do. There's a couple of courgettes in there. There's a big one down there that I'll take a few today. The hops and leaf mould been merrily ticking away. These raspberries sending up some nice canes. I've thinned them and they're ready now. All the daffodils have died back in here. I've let them completely die back, and I kept watering them as they were doing it. Brassica bed, rammed, absolutely rammed. I've had a poke about in the cauliflowers, and there's just a couple of nice little cauliflowers starting to form. Loads of green. There's loads of lettuce mixed in there as well. The kale, I don't know if you can see, is reaching the top now, so I'm going to start picking that nice and steadily. The sprouts, they're bombing on. They're nearly up to the top at net. Picked up some more spent hops. Honestly folks, this stuff is amazing. You can use it for so many things. It's like a super booster for compost, because it's near enough pure nitrogen, because it's green plant material that's been used in brewing. Right, back around this side, so the other kale, I think you can see through net, that's proper romping on. Me Zebrune shallots, as you can see, there's some weeds. I've not had a chance to do any weeding this week. We had our first communal barbecue last night, so yesterday I was tarting about up there and messing about and getting grass cut, which I'll show you in a bit. Second set of radishes, doing nice. I've got a spot here to put something in. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in. Swedes doing really well. I need to water them. I need to give them some water. I'll just see if I can get in. And they are starting, if you can just see down there, I don't know if you can see because it's sun. They are starting to bulk up, the body up a little bit, which is a bit early, but I don't mind. So I'm going to give them a good drowning in a minute. These Joan Jay raspberries, really well, just ticking over. I mean, everything's suffering. Everything is suffering with all this sun. We've not got to complain, because we don't often get a summer like this. But we could just do with the odd really good chuck it down rain session through evenings. Nelly there, she's struggling a bit in the heat. She usually just sits in a corner somewhere chewing on a stick or a stone. But she's really grown. She's 6 months old now. Can't believe we've had her 4 months. She's just an amazing little dog. Rhubarb, I've stripped both rhubarb plants because they were chocker, absolutely massive. So I've stripped them, and all you need to do is, there's nothing wrong with, as long as you've got a mature plant, really nailing it nearly down to the bone and taking all rhubarb off. Just, you've got to drown it. Then you've got to give it loads and loads and loads of water so that it'll boost back up. Gooseberries, I had 5 gooseberries off my little bush, but as you can see, the gooseberry sawfly has been in and nailing it good style. To be honest, it won't do them any harm. It won't do it any harm whatsoever. You know, it's still fruit. It'll come back next year, so don't worry if you get it. Tay berries, same again, really well, loads of berries, but I'm getting, the birds are nailing them. So what I need to cover it. I didn't expect much this year, being its sort of first year of production, because the fruit on last year's wood. But there's loads, but the birds are nailing them, just like that one there. I mean, that is not quite ready. Come back tomorrow and that'll be nailed. But I mean, I'm really pleased with them. I just need to build a fruit cage. There's the other rhubarb. Like I said, I'm just drowning them, giving them a load of water. I'll just come across slowly. I mean, this weather it's amazing, it's brilliant, but we are suffering a little bit. Now, I built a carrot box. Sorry, I'm just in the shade there, I'll turn you around. I built a carrot box, and I think I mentioned on a video before that I had a problem with moles. So I've actually lined that with chicken wire at the bottom. And then I've sieved soil, compost, river sand, filled it up, put stations in, as in just dibbed little holes, and I've just thinned the carrots out. Now, if you're wondering what all them are, they're actually marigold petals. I'm just trying a little belt and braces with the net over the top, and the marigold petals, they stink. They just obviously stink of marigolds. So because I've just thinned it, I've just slung in a load of marigold petals, watered it, and all I can smell down there is marigolds. So hopefully that will keep the carrot fly away, because if you remember last year in that bed there, I built ninja cage. These were frames that were stood up, put a net, and they still got in. So I have actually got some Enviromesh that I'm making frames up at the moment. I'm going to make a lid for it out of Enviromesh, so hopefully, touch wood for now, the flies won't get in. Leeks, all my leeks are in. I've just put this frame over, I'll just lift it up. I've just put the frame over to stop the birds, so you don't need to see a video of me doing my leeks. Like everybody else, I just dib big holes, made a dibber, dibbed about 6 or 7 inch holes, and dropped the leeks in. I don't bother trimming tops, bottoms or anything. I just don't bother. I know some people do, I just don't bother. I just pull them apart in water, wash them, shove them in, water them in, and that's it. Only, oh, my little plum tree, that's, I've been watering like mad, and I've mulched it with about 6 inch of sort of rotted straw and manure. Them's just some raspberry trimmings that I took from down there, and I'm just shoving them in there for a friend. Onions are doing all right. They're doing all right. They're suffering a bit. I mean, they're starting to bulb up over there, if you can see the bulbing up. But one, I've had a mole, and I got him, but I think I've got another one. And two, just the watering. You know, the thing about onions is you must water them now. Now that they're starting to bulb, if you don't water them and water them well, they won't bulb up. Each layer, it's just water. It's 80% water. So if you don't give them the water to take up, then they will not swell up. But it's no good just spraying them with a bit of water. You need to drown them. Once or twice a week, drown them, really drown them. And Nelly there, out at the sun, suffering a little bit. Say hello, Nelly. Potatoes are easy out there, the doddle. Massive foliage. I have had a few misfires, but it was my saved pink fir apple. I've got a couple of buckets here that the tubers just never fired, and they were big tubers, they just never fired. All the rest of them have fired. There's about 10 buckets, 10 or 11 buckets of pink firs in there. The sarpos and my charlottes. You can see my charlottes already. Now, same again with watering. Your spuds, if you're doing them in buckets, you need to water them. In the ground, you can get away with being a little bit sparse because they'll go deep. In buckets, you need to water them. Now, what I've been doing is I've been watering more in this end, as in the Charlottes, the ones that I want to be eating over the next few weeks, because I want the tubers to swell. The ones towards that end, one that went in a bit later, 2 the main crop, and 3 I don't want them for a bit. So after, well, we will start to get some rain, and I will water them more and more, because they will just sort of sit and happily sit there. Now, because I've sunk them in manure and compost, they really are holding on to the moisture in the bottom. If you're looking, you can see how much I've put in. I think you can for sun. You know, there's manure and straw and that in between them, so that is holding on to any spare moisture that comes out the bottom, and then the roots are coming out the bottom of the pots to get it. So I'm just having to actually top up my IBC tank because I emptied it the other day because we've just had no rain. So that's an siphon all the way from the top of the allotment up there where the big water butt is. Excuse me, sneeze. Oh. I don't have hay fever, but by God have I suffered in this. Over there, I don't know if you can see the turn in the grass to make haylage. And oh God, I've been sneezing all morning. Anyway, pond, nothing. I've done nothing with it. I've just been so busy, to be honest, doing the communal area. It's sat, but I'm going to crack on with that soon. My little apple tree in the bucket, what you can see there. I'll just try and get in fruit pond. It's got a couple of little fruits on, so hopefully I've been watering that like mad. The holly bush that I transplanted over there, that's looking a bit poorly. Hopefully I should be able to get that going. So I've still got half a box of manure and half a box of my own made compost, which basically is quite a lot of wood fibre in this layer. It's sawdust and shavings from work, but it's fine. I'm going to mix it all in. I'm going to mix that into there just so that it's on it, so I can free that box up and fill it. I promised a video on composting, and I did 2 videos, split videos. I'll just try and about how I do it, and it were really nice and steady, and I had about 30 bags of stuff. Did a complete talk through on how I do it, and of course the bloody videos wouldn't recognise on my computer, so I've lost the lot. I've just started to save up more bags. I will do another one because I really do composting for idiots. I don't mess about. I don't mix it all up and do it in layers. It's whatever I've got goes in a lump. That's it. There were about 4 or 5 bags of shavings and sawdust and droppings from every animal God knows in there, and they're about a 6-inch layer. I just shoved it in, and it's still sat there in a 6-inch layer. But when I dig it out, I put a shovel through, I pick up some of that, I pick up some of the stuff underneath, and well, my plants seem to be happy enough anyway. So we'll go down to the final bed, which has got my first dwarf beans in, which has started to crop now. Spring onions, I need to put some more spring onions in actually. Spring onions, they're doing okay. My beetroot are bulbing up nicely. These are the multicoloured things. My climbing French beans, they're doing brilliant. I'm just giving them a good water. I did put some carrots in there, but the birds have got in and flicked it everywhere. Lettuces, I bought loads of them. Loads in there, and loads mixed in with that lot. I'm really impressed with these broom shallots. I mean, I know you only get one, but they store brilliantly. The dry and store at winter. Me coffin beds down here, well, just have dried out. Dumped these strawberry runners that I put in there. This one has just dried out and near enough died off. This one, fantastic. And this one's sort of struggling a little bit. As you can see, there's some blackberry fruits on there that'll be coming. but this one's sort of struggling a bit. I don't know why. I've watered all 3 of them the same. I thought I had. I don't know whether it's soil mixture, whether that's got something in it that holds onto moisture more. I don't know. So folks, just a quick update. I've not really been doing much on here, like I say, because I've been concentrating on, sorry, just bear me a second, Nelly, get off of there, chasing butterflies. She's red hot, poor little bugger. I'm going to take her up home now. Like, she just climbs in and out of water tank up there, and she absolutely loves it down here though, loves it. Right folks, thank you very, very much for supporting me. Thank you for watching my videos. Sorry it's a little bit sort of boring and quick and not much has changed. I've got lots of projects planned. I've just been spending a lot of time on the communal area. I'm going to go do a video now. That's changed a lot. But you know, it's that time of year when stuff's growing. Sit down, look at it, enjoy it, start eating it. You know, it's supposed to be fun. Is growing food and vegetables and allotment. It's supposed to be enjoyable. So don't stress. If stuff are dying off because it's too dry, fine. Just wait a bit. You better plant some more. You know, we're only just knocking into July soon. So, okie doke, folks. Thank you very much, and please like, subscribe if it's your first time watching, and go back and watch all my other videos because all the rest of them are a lot more interesting than this one. Bye bye for now.